This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
The following episode of Charlotte Cooks is brought to you by Central Piedmont Community College and viewers like you. Thank you.
Coming up on this episode of Charlotte Cooks, we're using some beautiful chicken thighs and some herbs to make an absolutely delicious dish. Welcome to this edition of Charlotte Cooks. I'm Chef Pamela Roberts, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple marinade for some chicken thighs. We're going to saute them, we're going to get them nice and golden brown. I'm going to show you how to make some braised green beans with some nice toasted almonds. And we're going to put this beautiful dish together. It is so easy and it's delicious. You can do this any weeknight and still put your feet up. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to make a marinade for our chicken thighs. Now, when you are doing chicken, you want to make sure that you're not going to marinate it longer than an hour. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a half a cup of oil, and I'm going to put some oil in this. And when you make a marinade, y'all really should use some oil in it because it helps to take the herbs and the aromatics like your garlic and your shallots, and it helps those flavors go in just a little bit deeper. We're going to use some white wine vinegar. You can use any white wine vinegar you want. If you wanted to use a red wine vinegar, you could. Because we are using chicken thighs, the meat's dark anyway, and so having a little bit of the red wine in there is not going to really make that much of a difference. But if you use balsamic vinegar, you got to make sure that you are understanding that it is going to have a coloring aspect to the meat when it gets cooked and marinated. It's going to look a little darker than it should. All right, so we have some white wine vinegar, a little bit of oil. We are also going to add a little bit of water in there, equal parts of vinegar and water, so that the vinegar isn't too acidic. Once again, we want that acid to pull out the flavors of not only the herbs and the rest of the marinade, but we also want it to add a little bit of texture, liquidy aspect to the marinade so that it gets well into that chicken. Now I'm going to be using some salt-free herb blends because I like being able to control my salt. And so all I'm going to do is sprinkle some of this in here. You can use whatever you like. This one is a garlic and herb, and this one is an onion and herb. And I'm going to put a little bit of shallot and a little bit of garlic in here as well. So you can choose whichever one that you like, all right? I like the salt-free because, once again, I can control the salt. On my garlic, I'm going to take my garlic. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to take my garlic, and all I'm going to do is take 1 clove of garlic, and we're going to take it, and we're going to cut the end off, get all of this little skin off, and we're going to put it on a microplane. And the microplane, tap it gently, and that's going to crack the skin, so you can get that off really easily, okay? So then a microplane is like an old wood rasp. It's nice and fine. It creates a really fine paste. And you could use this, if you had a microplane, you could use it for a lot of different things. You can use it for garlic, you can use it for shallots, you can use it for chocolate, you can use it for ginger, you can use it for nutmeg, you can use it for a lot of different things. So we're just going to pop that in there and see how it comes off all nice and fine like this. It's beautiful, isn't it? So that's our garlic. I'm going to put our garlic in there, but I'm going to also do a shallot. So I'm going to leave that there. And the shallot's going to help push that garlic out some as well. So on our shallots, we have some nice fresh shallots. These are beautiful shallots. And so when you cut a shallot open, guys, you're going to find you get not just one, but shallots almost always come in 2 units, okay? And so if you wanted to, you can sprout those little roots and have another shallot plant growing, or not. You just cut it up and use it. Shallots are like a nice sweet onion. Sometimes they can be nice and strong. So if you smell them and they smell really strong, like a really hot onion, then you can reduce the amount that you use a little bit. Or you can just use it and just be aware that you have a very strong onion. If I don't have red onion, sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll substitute shallot. So once again, I'm just going to put a little bit of shallot in this marinade. Just going to rub it onto my microplane. That's going to help push all that other garlic out. And we're going to get some nice shallot in there as well. So after you get all your ingredients in, you're going to take a nice little whisk, and you're going to whisk it all up. And it doesn't have to be very much. You're not trying to swim your chicken in this liquid. You just want to give it enough liquid to coat it all up so it will actually just coat and marinate. So we're going to use a plastic bag. Why are we going to use a plastic bag? Because in a bowl, sometimes things get in the bottom. In a plastic bag, you can make sure that your thighs are going to be totally covered. Now, make sure you got your skin flaps. These are bone-in chicken thighs. I want to have my skin flaps, but I want to open them up so this meat gets all nice and marinated, okay? So throw these into the marinade bag. See how I'm opening them up? Because if I didn't, we wouldn't get the marinade in there, and this is all the goody part that we want to get nice and tasty. So there we go. Now we just take our marinade, give it another little whisk, and now we're going to pour it into the bag, just enough to coat. I'm going to go ahead and put all that in there. Make sure you get all the goodies, because sometimes, because this isn't emulsified, it will sink. Seal it up nice and tight. Now here's something that I like to do when I'm doing my marinades in a zippy bag. So if I leave it in a zippy bag like this, the liquid is going to be on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the zip over almost 2/3 of the way, and then I'm going to squeeze like this, squeeze the bag, push it down, and try to get as much of that air out as possible so that your chicken is going to be actually down in that marinade. So you're going to massage it up a little bit, and then we're going to cover it up and put this in a bowl or on a sheet pan or something in the refrigerator. I wouldn't put this in the refrigerator just like this, because if you don't have yours sealed up all the way, you're going to have all this lovely chicken juice going all over your refrigerator. So make sure you put it on something that if it doesn't sealed up all the way, you're going to catch those drips and leaks. 1 hour, no longer, and then we're good to go. Before we cook them, we've got to dry these off, because what we want to do is we want to make sure you get a nice golden brown on the skin, and you can't do that if the skin is wet, okay? So here we go. We are going to lay these out on some paper towels, take them out. Now this is where we're going to reshape our chicken thighs. We're going to take them, we're going to take this beautiful little skin flap, and we're going to roll them up, and we're going to make them into little nice chicken thigh shapes, okay? This is where you do not want it all splayed out all over the place. You want to bring them together, and you want to bring them into a nice tight little bundle. And if you got a little piece of skin like that, just tuck it in, because sometimes that skin gets really tasty. I don't know about you, but I think chicken skin tastes pretty good when it's nice and crispy. Okay. So I've got to wash my hands after this because this is kind of a messy job. All right, get them in here. And one more. Get it nice and shaped the way we want it. And then we're going to dry them off, all right? Let me wash my hands. Now, what do you do with this? Throw it away. Why? Because it's got raw chicken blood in it. You're not going to use that for anything. Don't heat it up in a pan. Don't make it into a sauce. Throw it away. If you want to make a sauce out of that marinade, make a fresh marinade and make that sauce from that fresh marinade. We have our chicken thighs that are draining here on the paper towel. And so we want to get the skin dried off too. So once again, take your paper towel, and we're just going to blot all of this moisture off of our chicken. While we're doing this, we're going to heat up our pan. Now I'm using a cast iron skillet. You can certainly use any kind of pan that you'd like or that you have. I love cast iron. I think cast iron gives a nice heat, and it gives a really, really, really nice sear on whatever meat you put into the pan. So you want to make sure your pan gets good and hot. You want to make sure your chicken is all nice and dried off. And at this point too, this is where you are going to look and make sure that you have your skin covering all of your chicken. So just take your fingers and push it, make sure that it's got a good cover on it, and you've got good shaped chicken. So now we did not put any salt or pepper into our marinade. We just used the salt-free thing. So if you did put salt in your marinade, you're not going to do this step. But I didn't, and I really like salting my food before I put it in the saute pans. So I'm going to use a little bit of salt and pepper, because salt and pepper are some of the best seasonings you can find. My pan is nice and hot. How do I know my pan is nice and hot? Because when I put my hand over it, I'm not going to put my hand down on it. So we're going to put it down service side first, which is the plate. When you put it on your plate, you want it to put that pretty side down in the pan first. So we're going to put this skin side down. I'm going to take it, put a little oil in the pan. Now when we're putting the oil in the pan, guys, we are not looking for oil to fry these, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan, okay? Now, you see how the chicken wants to fall apart like this, and that's okay, but I'm using the edge of the cast iron skillet to help hold that piece of chicken together a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Put that over here. I'm going to put this one over here. And I did this one upside down. I'm sorry. There we go. That way. And then we're going to do this one over here. Use the edge of that pan to get your skin seared so it's going to stay in place. We're going to let this go until the chicken is nice and golden brown. And so while we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and get our garlic and our onions ready. So I'm going to get my shallot ready. You can use the rest of the other shallot that you had, or you can just cut another one. But all I'm going to do here is I just want to do some shallots that are going to go into the sauce that we could spoon over the chicken thighs when we serve them. And so you can do it in a dice, you can put them on the microplane, but we're not going to see very much of that. So what I want to do is go ahead and just make some nice thin rings here, okay? So I'm just going to slice the nice little rings, and these will all fall apart really nicely when we saute them. Now when you're cooking chicken, guys, one of the things you want to do is make sure it's thoroughly cooked. And this is why I like the braise, because the braise does a beautiful job of it. So, almost. Pick them up and take a look. Almost. Almost. There we go. There's one. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Nice, even, crisp, golden brown. Now we want to protect that crispiness too. So when we're done with this, when we're putting the braise and liquid in here, we're not going to cover these things with liquid. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are browning the bottom side now. And so once these are browned on the bottom, we're going to remove these from the pan, okay? And while these are browning, I'm going to finish up my garlic. I'm going to grab a clove of garlic over here. I'm going to cut the trim off, take the skin off of him, and then I'm going to take this and just smash it. I'm not going to put this on the microplane because I want this garlic just to release the sweetness and not necessarily being put on the plates, okay? So, for your garlic, by the edge of your cutting board, take your knife, sharp side away from you, down, give it a little smash. Once again, sharp side away from you, give it a little smash. That's all you want to do here, okay? Next, these little guys over here are going to be ready to go. Nice little golden brown on the bottom. These are not cooked. They are not cooked. You see, you got the golden brown on the bottom, got the golden brown on top. So while our pan is nice and hot, we're going to take our shallots and garlic and throw them in. Now we're going to get these a saute. We're going to get these wilted. And once they're wilted, we are going to deglaze this pan. So we have enough fat in here. We got a little bit of extra fat from the chicken skin, and we have the fat from our oil. And we are not looking for anything other than just a little wilt on this. Add a little bit of salt to help bring the moisture out of those shallots. We can deglaze this with chicken stock, which is kind of plain. We can deglaze this with white wine, which is really nice. If you didn't want to use alcohol in this, there is a product out there that is made by the wine industry, and it's called verjuice. And what verjuice is, it's a non-alcoholic wine. You wouldn't drink it, but it's made for cooking. It doesn't have salt in it, but it has a tremendous amount of beautiful fruity flavor. So what I'm going to do is pour this into the pan, but I do have to tell you, because it's not alcoholic, you don't have to remove your pan from the heat like you do if you're putting alcohol in. So I want to get a little bit of verjuice in here. And that's going to deglaze the pan. Look at that beautiful bubble. And that's going to reduce just ever so slightly and concentrate its flavor. Now we put the chicken back in the pan. All right? Put this chicken back in the pan. And so when this is reduced, we don't want it to reduce down to nothing. We're going to add some chicken stock. When you're pouring in your chicken stock, don't want to fill it up, just about halfway. We've got our liquid in here now. We've got it up to a simmer. You don't want it to boil. You want to bring it to a boil, reduce your heat so it simmers. And this is a really nice little simmer here. Now you can do this in the oven if you wanted to finish this in the oven, 350 degrees, pop it in, or you can leave it on the top of your range if you want to. You can keep an eye on it. Either way, a braise is done either on the oven, in the oven, or on the stovetop. So either way. Now we're going to braise some green beans. Green beans need to have a little bit of tenderizing done to them. You can steam them. Braising is really a nice way of doing it. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to turn our heat on. We're going to use a little bit of butter in our pan, and the butter is going to add some moisture to our pan. We are going to let this butter melt. We're going to add some green beans to this. Now, once again, with liquid, when you're braising your green bean, I would not want to do anything really exotic like pineapple juice or coconut milk or anything like that, unless, of course, you wanted to make a coconut green bean. But we're just going to use either some simple water or some chicken stock. And because we're having a chicken dish here, we can certainly add chicken stock, and it's going to add some nice flavor to it. So we're going to get our beans in the pan. We're going to coat them with the butter. And once they're all coated with the butter, we're going to add a little bit of our liquid. And so for our liquid, I am going to use a little bit of chicken stock because we are using some chicken thighs today. So here we go. Drop that in. Now once again, notice the moisture level. The moisture level only comes up about halfway. You can use 2/3, but never covering, okay? So that means we're going to have to stir these a little bit and make sure that they get nice and braised. You're going to see the color change. I actually like my green beans to have a little bit of a bite to them, a little bit of an al dente bite to them, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And now while these are braising, I'm going to slide this to the back. You guys have heard of green beans almondine before? Well, this is how we're going to do our almonds for this, because once this liquid is all reduced out of the braise back here, we're going to be left with some nice butter. And when that butter is there and all the liquid is gone, we're going to take our toasted almonds and stir them in there, add a little bit more butter for a glaze, and we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful green bean almondine. And so what we do here is take your dry saute pan, nothing in it, just a dry saute pan. You can take your sliced almonds and pop them in here. Now sometimes if you toss them up and down like this in a bowl, all the little bits go down to the bottom of the bowl, then you can just take your top parts, because those little tiny bits will burn faster than your slices. And so, you know, that's just something you might want to do. Now, in your dry saute pan, here's where you get to have fun, guys. Toss it back and forth until they're toasted, okay? Just a dry saute pan. If you add any oil to it, you're not going to be able to toss it. So when you toss it, you slide it forward and then just bring it back. If you want to practice this, one good way of practicing this is just to put a piece of toast or a piece of bread in here and flip the bread until it's evenly toasted on both sides. That's going to give you a lot of practice on how to do that flip. And if you want to impress your friends like, oh wow, you got some really good cooking skills, learn how to flip, because flipping is fun. Okay? Just flip it like this, and if you try this at home and you start, you're going to end up with stuff all over your kitchen when you begin, but you'll eventually get the hang of it. So once they're golden brown and toasted, it doesn't take very long because you're in a dry saute pan. You're going to see a nice little golden brown. And here's the key. Don't leave them in this pan because this pan is hot. And what has this pot just done? It has cooked these almonds, so you need to get them out of this pan so that that cooking stops, okay? All right. And then put this pan where it can get washed. Turn off your heat so you don't get burned. Watch your beans. So you want to look and you want to see that your liquid is almost gone. You can see in the bottom it's kind of thickish, and this is really the butter that's left, okay? So now you can turn this heat off. You can stir in your almonds and just coat your beans with the almonds. Turn your heat off. Keep them warm until we're ready to plate, okay? So now over here, let me show you how you're going to test your chicken doneness, okay? So we have a thermometer. So you're going to insert the thermometer. Now you don't want to hit the bone. You want to go beside the bone. If you hit the bone, you're tempering the bone, and the bone is not going to be 165 degrees. So you go right beside the bone, and you want to make sure that it reads 165 degrees. It has to hold that temperature for 15 seconds. So if it hits it and it goes up, you're good. And some of our temperatures go up to 170 and all that. That's totally all right, because that means your chicken is cooked. So now, to finish our sauce, we're going to take our chicken thighs out of the pan, and we are going to add a little bit of butter. And you can take a little bit of butter and whisk this in. And what this is going to do is it's going to add a richness to this sauce that's going to make it like a gravy without having to add a lot of flour and that old traditional stuff of adding a roux and all that. You know, sometimes that's just a lot of empty calories, and here if you just add a little bit of butter to this verjuice and the chicken stock you have here, that's all you need for a sauce. Voila, he's done. So now we're going to turn this off. We are going to plate. We have a risotto. Now you can make a risotto, you can make a rice, you can make a couscous, any kind of potato that you want to. This can go with any kind of starch that you want. So we're just going to take a little bit of this risotto, and we are going to put some of this on the plate, and we are going to add our chicken thigh. I want to put our chicken thighs like right up on it, okay? Cantilever it up like this, okay? And the reason I do that, we can pull this off. The reason I do this is because I want those chicken juices to go into that rice and really make it super, super, super yummy. I'm going to take a nice spoon and I'm going to come over here to my sauce. And I'm going to spoon some of this sauce directly onto my plate. All right, now I would not put this sauce over the top of your chicken. Why not? Because we have that nice crispy skin and we want to keep it that way, okay? So now we have this. I'm going to wipe this little dribble off here. We're going to take our green beans with your almonds. And I like my green beans long because I think they make a nice dramatic presentation. Put them on the back, kind of hanging over the top of your chicken. And then swirl your sauce around so there's sauce in front, sauce in back, and our risotto. And if you wanted to put some herbs on there, you certainly could, because we have some herbs inside of there. So it was very easy to do, very simple, very straightforward. We can use the same technique on both chicken and on vegetables. So thank you for watching this episode of Charlotte Cooks. And if you want to get our recipes, you can get them off of our website at pbscharlotte.org. And we're going to catch you next time on Charlotte Cooks. Thank you for watching.
Production of PBS Charlotte.